I really thought they forgot that.
Jerry Garcia couldn't do it any better. That's great.
Oh, Caitlin, I'd like to see you right after the show. Caitlin's our producer. I am Dan Coons. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, Hawaii edition.
Actually, it's the Bora Bora edition.
Bora Bora edition. I'm Dan Coons, because it says so right there. This is Steve Hare, our beloved and hardworking news director, and welcome to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on this Friday.
You got it half right anyway.
Yeah, the 8th day of December 2017. Keep your fingers crossed, people. We're going to try and get through this hour-long edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley without making too many mistakes. And once again, Caitlin, I'd like to see you right after the show about our opening credits. Happy Friday, we made it. I didn't do a show yesterday. It's a long, technical, boring story about this, that, and the other thing. Essentially, the big unit, Steve, that we affectionately call Stacy, the TriCaster, decided not to work yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And between Caitlin and Brandon, they troubleshooted. They put quarters in it. They took it upside down. They shook it. It's working.
Spit into the back of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm. The reason that you see this beautiful tropical set behind me is that the normal set that you would see on this program has mysteriously disappeared.
I thought that was our PTZ cam from Tahiti, wasn't it?
I wish I was there right now, baby. Anyway, so let's get to it. My guest, by the way, in the second half of the show is Henry Heddick. Henry is going to be directing the Snowy Owl Theater's Family Christmas Show again this year. We will be there with our cameras, by the way. We're going to be taping the 2 o'clock matinee at the Snowy Owl Theater on the campus of the Sleeping Lady Resort. So Henry will be joining me in the second half of the show. Looking forward to that. So stay close for that. We have your weather forecast. We have your sports report. There's a ton of sports going on this weekend. Steve has just so much news. I don't know how you're going to get it all in.
Oh, boy.
So I hope you took your multivitamin this morning. and your weather forecast. The air stagnation advisory, and I predicted this, Steve. They were going to extend it, I thought, and they did. They've extended the air stagnation advisory for all of north central Washington all the way into next week. All the way into next week. The high pressure ridge that's trapping the cold air down below and all the pollutants and all the gunk that can't get out of here for two reasons. Number one, we have that high pressure dome, so warm air is up above, the cold air is trapped on the valley floor, the pollutants go up, they come right back down again. The air stagnation advisory means the air quality is going to deteriorate. And the high pressure ridge that's making that happen is not only centered right over Washington State, it's actually strengthening it. So,
well, waking up this morning, I opened up the door to the backyard and I can actually smell smoke from people's chimneys. So, folks, that's what it's all about. That burn ban is still in effect. And
it will be for quite some time.
Yeah.
So the weather is just going to be not, well, if you like clouds and fog and cold temperatures, this is right up your alley. If you're looking for a white Christmas, we don't know yet. It's just too far out for us to really give you an idea. By this time next week, we should have a pretty good idea what the 24th, 25th, 26th will be looking like.
And if we're having the stagnant air and the high pressure here, that's affecting, well, the entire West Coast for that matter right now. That's why you're seeing the terrible conditions down in California right now.
Before we move on to the weather forecast and our cameras around the valley, how's your family members and friends down there in the Ventura area?
So far, so good.
Okay.
No structural loss, at least in terms of my family, but I've had some friends that have lost some homes down there. So I guess I'm kind of distracted by what's going on down in California right now, so bear with us here.
Yeah, perfectly understandable. All right, 4 minutes after the hour, let's take you around north central Washington and the Wenatchee Valley with our Valley View cameras. Good morning, Wenatchee. That's actually not bad. A couple of days ago, Steve, at this very time, you couldn't see the north part of town. You couldn't see the old station area in Sunny Slope. You can this morning. But still, it's going to be cloudy and maybe a couple of light flurries here and there. That's the forecast, really all the way through Thursday of next week, which is how long the air stagnation advisory lasts as well. Good morning, Wenatchee. These cameras courtesy, of course, of Locatel Sky-Fi high-speed wireless internet. Let's find out together, Steve. This is now a surprise. That is, of course,
that's Wenatchee Avenue.
Yes, that's downtown Wenatchee pointing to the south. That's on the roof of the Cascadian, pointing to the south. Pretty light commute here this morning. Well, it's only 7:04, so that's certainly understandable. Good morning, downtown Wenatchee. Thanks for having us on board today. Camera 3, and again, we find out together. Steve and I don't know what it is until we see it. That is, of course, is Leavenworth.
Beautiful Leavenworth.
Yes, our Tumwater camera there. Beautiful Leavenworth area.
Getting ready for their big lighting festival again tomorrow.
Yeah, it attracts, I'm told, dozens of people really go to the tree lighting ceremony every year. And finally, camera number 4, where are we going? We're going to Omi Gardens.
Omi Gardens.
Omi Gardens.
Oh, it looks like a nice flow of traffic going over the Otabashan Bridge this morning.
Yeah, not a bad morning. It's much clearer than we were anticipating, but we're not going to see any sunshine. If you want sunshine, you're going to have to go above the cloud cover. 3,000, 3,500, 4,000 feet, you get above that and you get sunshine and you get considerably warmer temperatures because you get out of that air inversion. So, good morning, Wenatchee Valley. I love this set. We should do this more often.
Absolutely. And with the colder temperatures, though, at least Mission Ridge is able to, augment their natural snow with some man-made stuff up there.
And even if you're not a skier and you want to get some sunshine, you remember the base of Mission Ridge, the parking lot and the lodge, that's at 4,000 feet.
Yeah, right.
And I've done this before, especially when we get to the weather conditions that we have now and you just want to see the sunshine because you get tired of day after day after day of clouds and fog. Drive up to Mission Ridge and have lunch in the lodge. Have a big bowl of chili and enjoy the sunshine.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. So from the National Weather Service, your forecast: fog and clouds and fog and clouds. That little thing there is a couple of light flurries here and there. Most of that's actually freezing fog.
Yeah, we got a little bit of that yesterday.
Yes, we did. It was not in the forecast. It didn't last very long. It didn't really affect the traffic or anything. Of course, Facebook blew up. It's snowing in Wenatchee. Well, it was more of a freezing fog, light flurry kind of thing than actual snow. So there it is. Nothing to really talk about. Afternoon highs 33, 34. Overnight lows 27, 26, 27, 28. Patchy freezing fog, cloudy. Patchy freezing fog, cloudy. No wind. No real precipitation. Just kind of. That's just what it is.
How do you spell that?
It's spelled It's the 27th word in the alphabet. So that's what it looks like, and I wish I could give you better news, but that's what it is. That's from the National Weather Service, and they usually bat about 800. They're usually pretty good at these things. As far as the mountain passes are concerned, no problems at all. Things are looking good. In fact, that's where you want to go if you want to see the sunshine. Right now, no advisories, no restrictions on any of the major mountain passes. You will be going through foggy patches, Steve. As you climb up the mountain passes, you'll find patches of fog, so visibility can be an issue. Sometimes it'll be just clear as a bell, and you can see for miles and miles, and then boom, you hit a patch of some low clouds and some fog. So that's all you really have to worry about. Stevens is a perfect example. You see that. Stevens will have sunshine eventually. It'll burn off. Stevens is above the clouds and the fog, so you're going to get at 4,000 feet. You're going to get sunshine today. No advisories, no restrictions, none expected, no snow at all. Partly to mostly sunny skies is the forecast for the mountain passes with afternoon highs near 40. So there you go. If you're traveling to the Cascades, the only thing you got to worry about is some poor visibility at times. The roadways themselves are a piece of cake. 8 minutes after the hour on this Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We're live here from Studio 7 in downtown Wenatchee. Take a quick 1-minute break, and then Mr. Steve Hare as your Friday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Aloha.
Broadway's Cirque Dreams celebrates the 10th anniversary season of Cirque Dreams Holidays. Charm, sparkle, and talent by the sleigh load, says the New York Daily News. Over 20 of the world's best acts, 300 spectacular costumes, unforgettable music, and Broadway spectacle. Vegas meets family entertainment hails the Boston Globe of this season's must-see Cirque Dreams Holidays.
December 26th at Town Toyota Center, locally sponsored by People's Bank. Get your tickets today at towntoyotacenter.com.
The 2017 Ski-Doo Summit sleds. Next generation REV platform. The most powerful two-stroke engine in the industry. For the unmatched handling and power to own the next side hill, the next drop, the next ride. Ski-Doo. What matters is what's next.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Welcome to a Friday. Steve Hare with you with what's happening around north central Washington. Here's what's happening. First of all, action taken last night by the Wenatchee City Council will result in Confluence Health helping pay for future street maintenance. In fact, under the plan approved by the council, the hospital would be charged a so-called payment in lieu of tax that would be used to help meet the annual $3 million cost of maintaining city streets. Now, the council opted for the so-called PILT payment over a second option that would have charged Confluence a business and occupations or B&O tax. Hospital officials indicated that they also favored the PILT payment option. Under state law, hospitals are property tax exempt. Also in today's news.
We are deeply disappointed by the pace of the discussions regarding the Columbia River Treaty. We think it has not been managed well by the State Department.
Chelan County PUD General Manager Steve Wright is concerned about the slow pace of renegotiating a new Columbia River Treaty with Canada. Of course, that is the document that controls all uses of Columbia River water in both countries. He shared his thoughts on the matter in a recent interview with NCW Live News.
The Columbia River Treaty was a fabulous treaty put in place 60 years ago, provided a lot of benefit, led to the construction of dams up in Canada that allow us to control the flow of the river and produce more value in the United States. But the original terms of the treaty were anticipated that they would play out over 60 years and then the deal would be renegotiated. It's basically a commercial sale. And the world has not played out in the Northwest or Canada the way that it was anticipated, and the benefits that we are currently providing back to Canada in terms of power and energy and capacity are well in excess of the value that's derived from the operation of those dams. So we're overpaying, basically, on a treaty by a substantial margin, and we believe that needs to get fixed. The treaty anticipated this, fully anticipated it. Included a provision in the treaty that gave each country the unilateral right to terminate on 10 years' notice, with the theory being that it is a commercial arrangement. Folks will re-argue the commercial terms at some point, and that should happen over a period of time. 10 years is a good period of time to negotiate. We'll put in place terms that make sense for both countries. We are really disappointed that it has taken way too long to even get to the table with the Canadians to initiate the negotiation, and we believe that the notice to terminate the power provisions of the treaty should be issued in order to set off the window, the clock, for making a decision within 10 years. 10 years is plenty of time to renegotiate the terms. So we have strongly urged the State Department to move forward on that basis. They recently have replaced the lead negotiator, which we think is a good thing. We're supportive of that, and we're hopeful that this new person will come in and show more willingness to move forward quickly than what we've seen in the past.
And again, the long-term impacts of that treaty have been mixed. While the dams have provided enormous economic benefits to British Columbia and the U.S. Pacific Northwest through hydroelectric generation and flood control, there are long-standing concerns regarding social and economic impacts to the local communities and the environmental effects associated with the construction and operation of those hydro projects. Also, commuters were stalled in the East Wenatchee area last night as a result of a traffic accident. It occurred on 3rd Street, just below Costco. No details available yet. Douglas County Fire District 2 responded along with East Wenatchee Police Department. Also, this was the scene yesterday afternoon on I-90 at the Vantage Bridge, where a non-injury accident backed up traffic for a while. State troopers say it happened when the driver of a pickup towing a mobile home lost control and then struck a guardrail that blocked one lane of travel. The driver, identified as 54-year-old Miguel Garcia of Moses Lake, was unhurt. Troopers blame faulty equipment as the cause. Well, it's that time of the year. It may be time to roll up your sleeve and get vaccinated. Influenza activity reportedly picking up here in Washington State. Public health officials suggest the best time for the flu shot is right now. State Department of Health reports there are currently 4 lab-confirmed deaths in Washington associated with the flu, and 7 flu outbreaks in long-term care facilities. Also, a few local flu cases have been reported here in Chelan and Douglas County. Absentee rates have not reached that critical stage yet for schools, but we'll keep you informed as to the progress of the flu season here in Chelan and Douglas County. Also, a snowmobile safety training class is set for this weekend in the Lake Wenatchee area, even though there's not enough snow to ride. Chelan County Sheriff's Office, in cooperation with the Washington State Parks and Recreation Commission and the Lake Wenatchee Recreation Club, are offering free snowmobile safety certification classes to young snowmobilers. Rich Magnuson has the details on that.
Unfortunately, due to lack of snow, the riding portion of the test we're not going to be able to complete, but we're still going to do our classroom portion of the test, and during that we'll cover basic snowmobile maintenance, survival skills, dealing with emergencies, including avalanche awareness, proper clothing when you're out riding, hand signals for riding and other basic skills, and then preparing for the ride, making sure you have all the right equipment, making sure your machine and everything's ready to go before you head out on the test or on the ride. And then the skills test, so parents that do send their kids to the class will give the parents a sign-off sheet for the riding skills test, and they'll be able to check their kids off once we do get some snow and they can take them out riding. They can actually sign their own kids off, and then send it back into the state, and they'll mail them their Safe Rider card.
It's a free training course. It's designed for kids aged 12 to 16, but it's open to new riders of all ages. The class is scheduled for tomorrow, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Lake Wenatchee Recreation Club. Also, the Wenatchee Figure Skating Club's annual holiday ice show is this weekend at the Town Toyota Center. This year's theme for the ice show is a year of cheer. On a recent episode of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with our host Dan Coots, they talked to two of the skaters in the event. Elizabeth Brazeau and Shannon Salter said this year's ice show will be a little bit different than in the past.
It's a little bit new. Before we've done mostly Christmas, but this year we are going through the different holidays. So we start off with New Year's and go to Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, and we end with Christmas.
And the skaters also said a lot of choreography and a ton of rehearsal time goes into putting on that show.
We're there every Thursday night and Sunday afternoon.
So a lot of work then.
Yes.
And then we have, in our normal freestyle sessions, which are usually for practice, we have duets and trios and solos rehearsing. So the group numbers are on Thursday and Sunday, but then there's even more time that goes into rehearsing.
The Holiday Ice Show will have 3 performances this weekend at the Town Toyota Center. Saturday, 4:30 p.m., Sunday at both 2 p.m. and 4:30. Tickets can be purchased at the door on the days of the show or at the rink office, again at the Town Toyota Center in Wenatchee. A unique event occurred at a local toy store in Wenatchee yesterday. Our own Eric Granstrom was there to cover it.
Hooked on Toys was the scene for a special event Thursday.
Let's Rock Community Toy Drive.
A couple of the kid expert shoppers, Tessa and Elsie Depew, had a budget of $1,000 to fill cart after cart of what they think kids would want for Christmas. It's all part of the WUWV Community Toy Drive to benefit children through Serve Wenatchee Valley, CASA, and the Bruce House. WUWV area manager Kirk Mosier was quite touched by what he witnessed as the girls helped to give so much.
I don't even really know what to say about today, to be quite honest with you, Eric. It's been pretty humbling to see these kids get toys for other kids. And we're just very fortunate to have the community support that we have that affords the opportunity to come in here today and spend $1,000 and then have Hooked on Toys donate an additional $200. So $1,200 today in toys, and you've seen what's going on our Facebook page with all the toys we've collected. So just pretty grateful. I think that we've all been very surprised at how giving our community is. I've been in Wenatchee now for 6 years and got to participate in the toy drives on the west side because I have some stores over there, and just to see what they've been able to accomplish over there and bring that to our community. The nice thing about it over here is we've been able to use local businesses to partner with us because we just have the 2 stores, and it's our partners that have made it what it is. With Hooked on Toys, here today, KKRV, you guys at NCW giving us the media coverage, and Velo giving bicycle helmets, and it's just been really, really an amazing experience from that standpoint, for sure.
There are 2 more shopping sprees by the kid experts in the coming days. And don't forget this weekend when Country 104.7 KKRV and La Nueva Radio host live remote broadcasts beginning Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. Then Sunday morning at 8 is the volunteer bike build at Sangster Motors. Head to WUWV Community Toy Drive's Facebook page for more information, donation locations, and events. With NCW Life Channel News, I'm Eric Grantstrom.
Another example of how the Wenatchee Valley responds, huh?
That's a great
I'll tell you what,
story.
that's a great story. Always fun at this time of the year.
And thanks to everybody who's participating, not only Hooked on Toys and our friends at at Country 104.7 and us here at the NCW Life Channel and Les Schwab and the Wenatchee World and Sangster Motors and Works and Columbia Valley Community Health. A lot of folks making this happen.
Yeah.
So, I know you got to go, Steve. It's 20 after the hour. Quick question, hypothetical. Let me ask you this. I was going to ask you this at the start of the show. I forgot. Assuming that you made the nice list, that Santa says, okay, you're nice, you're going to get some presents. Santa is obligated to put something in your stocking, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you think that's an obligation on Santa's part? I mean, you made the nice list, so you can expect gifts in your stocking on Christmas morning?
Well, either a gift or maybe, if you were so nice, possibly a lump of coal.
But if you made the nice list, it's a given, right? I mean, is Santa obligated, is what I'm saying, if you made the nice list to put
Well, I
presents in
think
your
so,
stocking?
yeah. I mean, that's what he does. That's
Okay,
his-
well, that brings up my second question. Is he obligated to fill the stocking? Does he have to fill the stocking with goodies if you're on the nice list?
I don't know. I
Okay.
mean, I don't think so. I think we all play a part there, don't we?
Yeah, well, I'd want to say yes, that he's obligated to actually fill the stocking, because I went out and bought a huge stocking yesterday. It's like the size of a sleeping bag.
Well, I think that's what the song says, though, isn't it? Filled the stocking?
Yeah, that's exactly. I was going on the tradition that he fills the stocking.
So what's your point?
Well, I got a ginormous stocking. This thing is huge.
Well, I've seen
Not
this
that
one here. No.
Yeah, I figure if you get a huge stocking, it's going to be full of stuff, right?
One year I had to use some pantyhose, and I'll tell you what, that thing was just stretching all the way down to the floor.
The news with Grant Olson comes your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. Don't forget, tonight we have live high school basketball. The Eastmont Wildcats will be hosting the Wenatchee Panthers in a girls-boys doubleheader. We're going to be carrying both of those games live, and between those doubleheader games, we'll be carrying a newscast as well. So 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock-ish, again, between the girls and the boys game, and then again at 10 o'clock tonight with Grant Olson. Don't forget to get a hold of us. Any number of ways you can do that. You can email us, you can call us, you can Facebook message us. We've gotten some wonderful Facebook messages over the last week or so.
Oh,
Whatever
yes.
it takes, get a hold of us. We'd love to hear from you. Steve, enjoy your fiber, my friend.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, Steve's getting fiber installed at his house, so he's got to get out of here. Thanks, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Have a good
Take a quick
weekend.
break. When we come back, sports and everything else. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley Friday edition on the NCW Life Channel.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life Channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Live Sports.
I'm NCW Life News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on Local Tel Channel
You
12.
can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Live Channel. We are back at 23 minutes after the hour on this Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. You just saw our winter sports promo. Speaking of sports, let's go to the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard from yesterday. In boys swimming and diving, Wenatchee, no problems with this Cross River rival. They beat Eastmont 144-42. And in prep basketball last night, Waterville Mansfield boys and girls both defeated Soap Lake, as you see on the screen. Busy prep schedule for today. In boys basketball tonight, Chelan is at Okanagan in Caribou Trail League action. Kashmir is at Zella. Tenaska will host Manson. And again, as we mentioned, Wenatchee is at Eastmont. The boys' game will tip off at 7:30. We'll have it right here live with Eric Grandstrom and Grant Olson calling the action. Girls basketball tonight. The Lady Cats and Panthers will meet at Eastmont 5:45. We'll take to the air at about 5:30 right after your evening news. And the other girls' games today, you see them on the screen. Coming up this weekend in boys basketball tomorrow, there is your schedule. You do want to make one note. Boys basketball, Kashmir boys will play first, followed by the Kashmir girls. Normally it's the other way around, so heads up on that. If you want to see the powerhouse Kashmir girls basketball team, they will play later. In fact, let's go ahead and look at that girls schedule for tomorrow. That's what it looks like. And again, take a look at that OMAC at, the LaSalle Kashmir game. The girls game is a 7:15
tip tomorrow. So it's the boys, then the girls for Cashmere only tomorrow. To the weekend we go. East Wenatchee Bowlers in Tacoma for the Tacoma Classic today and tomorrow. It's wrestling tournaments all over the place. You can see where everybody is going to. And the Wenatchee boys swimming and diving team will be down in Walla Walla. A town so nice they named it twice for a big swim meet down there. The Wenatchee Wild head back north of the border. A couple of games this weekend. It begins tonight in Merritt. The Wild will be taking on the Centennials at 7 o'clock. That'll be followed by a trip to Prince George tomorrow as they take on the Spruce Kings. The puck will drop at 7 o'clock then as well. You can hear the action with our friend Art Checker on Sunny FM here in North Central Washington. Of course, we'll have highlights on the Monday edition of this program. Congratulations to the continent. Wenatchee native Cody O'Connell, Washington State offensive guard, and by the way, defensive tackle Hercules Mataafa have been named to the nation's oldest All-American team, the Walter Camp All-American First Team. It was announced by the Walter Camp Foundation. That was announced yesterday. The 2017 Walter Camp All-American team will be honored at the organization's 51st annual National Awards Banquet on January 13th. There's a whole bunch of All-American and All-Conference teams, and the announcements have been leaking out over and over and over throughout the course of this week. And Cody O'Connell, the Wenatchee native, has been making almost every one of those lists as he prepares, hopefully, for a very successful career in the National Football League. Speaking of the National Football League, Seahawks are on the road in Jacksonville this weekend. San Francisco is at Houston. That kicks off at 10 a.m. on Fox. Tennessee is at Arizona against the Cardinals. That's on CBS. The Rams have quite a test. Philadelphia in Los Angeles. That'll be at 1:25. And again, Seattle has a 1:25 kickoff at Jacksonville against the Jaguars. Seattle heads into the weekend, still a game behind L.A. in the NFC West, 26 minutes after the hour. I kind of like this new set. We might make that permanent. I don't know. I think I'm getting a suntan. Let's do our obscure holiday of the day today. We celebrated this last year on December 8th by eating a brownie right here on the air. I neglected to make brownies this time around. I've been busy. Today is National Brownie Day. It's as good as it gets. Brownies are so easy to make. Even the prepackaged stuff that you buy at the store, the Betty Crocker or the Duncan Hines, those are really, really good. Of course, if you make it from scratch, it's really, really, really good. Don't forget the milk. It's not really a nice brownie without the... Brownies and milk go together as good as anything you can think of. It is National Brownie Day. Chewy chocolate brownies. Eat one, eat two. I'm going to eat 3. 27 minutes after the hour. Today in history, December 8th, 2 big events. 76 years ago today, President Franklin D. Roosevelt addressed a joint session of Congress and asked Congress to declare war on Japan, and they did. The famous "A Date That Will Live in Infamy" speech. The original draft, which you see here on the screen, said a date that will live in world history. That was the original draft. The original draft used the term "a date that will live in world history." President Roosevelt himself changed it to infamy. That's the original draft with President Roosevelt's handwritten notes in there. The United States declared war on Japan on this date 76 years ago, one day after the attack on Pearl Harbor. And this day I will never forget. 37 years ago today, John Lennon, shot 4 times in the back by Mark David Chapman in the archway of the Dakota, his residence in New York City, rushed to Roosevelt Hospital, pronounced dead at 11:13 that evening at the age of 40. I had just gotten back from basketball practice at Wenatchee High School and was watching Monday Night Football and eating dinner by myself in the kitchen, and Howard Cosell broke the news, and it shattered me. It's still hard to believe. John Lennon, we lost him 37 years ago today. And finally, we have birthdays to get to today on this December 8th. The amazing story and somewhat sad story of Billy Durant. William C. Durant was born on this date in 1861. He passed away at the age of 85 in 1947. He was the founder of General Motors. He founded General Motors in 1908 as a direct competitor to Ford Motors. He was only the chairman of the company for a couple of years, and then the bank creditors forced him out. So Billy Durant teamed up with Louis Chevrolet and started the Chevrolet Motor Company. And he made millions of dollars and was highly successful, one of the best known businessmen in America. And then on Black Tuesday, when the stock market crashed, he and the richest people in America, the Rockefellers and the Vanderbilts and such, they decided to buy as much stock as they could, huge quantities of stock, to bolster up the stock market and to demonstrate to the public that they had confidence in the stock market. It cost him his fortune. He lost all of his money because he did that. He was not individually able to stop the market slide. By 1936, Billy Durant was bankrupt. He spent his final years managing a bowling alley and flipping hamburgers in Flint, Michigan. But still, it's an amazing story. Billy Durant, born in the state in 1861. Mr. Wonderful, Sammy Davis Jr., there he is. I gotta be me, I gotta be me. Sammy Davis Jr., the actor, the singer, the dancer, as multi-talented as any individual in the history of the entertainment business. The great Sammy Davis Jr. was born in the state in 1925, passed away of cancer at the age of 64 back in 1990. Of course, a member of the Rat Pack. He did it all. He was on stage, he was on screen, he was on Broadway, he did recordings, he did television. The great Sammy Davis Jr., Mr. Wonderful, was born in this state. And we lost Greg Allman earlier this year, of course, back in May. He would have been 70 years old today. Greg Allman, one of the founding members of the Allman Brothers, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, great singing voice, great guitarist, great organ player, really the heart and soul of the Allman Brothers, the great Greg Allman. He would have been 70 years old today, but he passed away, of course, last spring. And happy birthday to Marion Tresh. She's 52 years old today. There's Marion. I've gotten to know Marion pretty good over the last few months or so. Marion Tresh is 52 years old today. That comes with love from you-know-who. Hugs and kisses, Eric. There you go. Happy 52nd, Marion. And keep Eric on the straight and narrow, will you? We'd appreciate it. It's a great deal. 31 minutes after the hour. Throughout the holiday shopping season, we are profiling different local businesses. Most of these businesses are just iconic because they put their name on their door and they put their heart and soul in what they do. And today we're going to be talking about Liberty Orchards, the home of applets and collards. That is, without question, applets and collards is a holiday tradition almost everywhere, not only in North Central Washington, but everywhere. And I love applets and collards. You can tour the factory if you want. They'd love to have you. You can see how it's done. Of course, applets and collards are the gift, one of the major gifts to give for out-of-town family members and friends who maybe don't be able to make it to North Central Washington for the holidays. Get a box of applets and collards and ship it to them, because you're not going to find these things anywhere but right here in North Central Washington. They also have, of course, nut-free candies if you don't like to get that in your bridge work and stuff. Sugar-free stuff as well. It's all good stuff. Liberty Orchards in Cashmere. And again, drop by, take a tour of the factory. They'd love to see you. I'm craving some applets and collards right now. That's just a family tradition, holiday tradition around here. One more quick little talk about the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive. You saw the story that Eric Granstrom did yesterday from Hooked on Toys. The $1,000 shopping spree. Wasn't that great? Help us out, folks. Every kid in North Central Washington deserves to have a bunch of toys, brand new, ready to bust open and play with toys under the Christmas tree on Christmas morning. And we want you to be a part of it. When you're out and about, wherever it is, this weekend, next weekend, during the course of the day, online, I don't care what it is, pick up a couple of toys for local kids and drop them off at any of our drop-off locations. Hooked on Toys, Works, Columbia Valley Community Health, Sangster Motors, Country 104.7. The studios, by the way, are located by Albertsons. Sangster Motors, the Wenatchee World, our studios here, and of course, either Les Schwab location. And if you don't know what to buy, because you haven't bought for a kid for a long time, the Wenatchee World has a checklist. You can just cut it out and say, that's perfect. Gift cards, action figures, sports items, that kind of stuff. Or go to their Facebook page, Les Schwab Community Toy Drive, on your Facebook search bar, and you will find it there. All right, 33 minutes after the hour. Everyone is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion here in just a couple of minutes. Looking forward to that. And then Henry Heddick, the director and writer of the Snowy Owl Theater's Family Christmas Show, which is tonight and tomorrow. Henry will be in our studio here in just a couple minutes to talk about that. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live from Studio 2 on the NCW Live channel.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. A chill is in the air and it's a perfect time for some old-fashioned comfort food like our amazing Eggs Benedict, chicken fried steak, French dips, soups made from scratch, or fruit pies fresh from the oven. The crowds might be gone, but we're still here for you folks. So bring an appetite and a friend to Blueberry Hills in Manson, where you pick, you sit, you eat, and you visit. Open Wednesday through Sunday from 8 to 3. wildaboutberries.com.
Having a relationship with your pediatrician is so important. Feeling that sense of trust, that is priceless. I tell everybody about CBCH. I love it there. When I make an appointment, I don't have to take an entire day off. As a working mom, my life is really busy. Family time is everything. That's what we all work towards. And I feel like CBCH respects that.
Plumbing, heating, or cooling repair, Patriot will be right there. Time to replace your home comfort system? This Lennox dealer can help.
If it's time to replace your old furnace or air conditioner, Patriot Plumbing, Heating and Cooling gives free estimates. Call Patriot today.
Patriot Plumbing, Heating and Cooling will give your home a hug.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Hi, this is Carl.
And Kathy from East Wenatchee Grocery Outlet. We are excited to be a part of this wonderful community and look forward to meeting you at East Wenatchee Grocery Outlet.
Our store is filled with name brand products at bargain prices at 40 to 60% savings. We have a large selection of natural, organic, and specialty foods.
Stop by and meet Carl, the wine guy, on Wednesday.
East Wenatchee Grocery Outlet, where you can win what you saved. Stop by soon.
If you're stuck trying to find the perfect beer for you, look no further than Badger Mountain Brewing. We specialize in creating tantalizing craft beers that will soothe any picky taste buds and will satisfy your cravings. Check out everything from our amazing honey blonde that will appease even the most finicky taster, or a delicious frothy stout for dark beer lovers. Experience them all at Badger Mountain Brewing.
Praise Fruit Barn is open all year with a variety of reasons to stop by. Leavenworth Quilt Company inspires ideas from simple to amazing with gorgeous fabrics, interesting patterns, and inspiration for all levels of quilter. Dilly Dally is a fun gift shop with many one-of-a-kind gifts and a corner of gifts for the little ones. And in between is Praise Fruit Barn with a bounty of local fruit, local honey, and specialty food items. Praise Fruit Barn, open year-round.
This is Mike, Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. So this Kim Jong, what's his name? He's building nukes, he's testing missiles, and he's threatening us with attack. So tell me, how is it that President Trump is responsible for leading us to the brink of war? I mean, is there really something wrong with telling someone who threatens to nuke us that if they try, we're going to destroy them? I mean, sure, I'm all for diplomatic means of resolving these things, but we're trying that, and that doesn't seem to really be working all that well. And if the North Korean spoiled brat does decide to attack us, I mean, I can't even begin to believe it will be President Trump's fault. I mean, come on. I mean, dislike the guy, Trump, all you want, but put responsibility where the responsibility belongs. Now, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Join us for Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel. This former police sergeant is plugged into not only the world of the streets, he's an actor and connoisseur of the arts. So join Mike and his guest for, well, Street Talk and Other Stuff. Mondays at 10 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m., and Wednesdays at 5:30. It's Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, I'm Cordell Schroeder, owner of East Wenatchee Mobile Storage.
If you're thinking about making a move anytime soon, check out the East Wenatchee Mini Storage brand new mobile storage service. They drop it off at your location, you pack it, and they pick it up and store it in their protected warehouse at East Wenatchee for as long as you need. When you're ready, they'll drop it off at your new home or office. East Wenatchee Mini Storage is excited to offer this brand new service to our region.
Call 509-884-8643 or find us on the web at ewministorage.com.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by Local Telecommunications. Saturday, December 16 is the Robert Dixon Memorial Christmas Dinner at the Wenatchee Masonic Center from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. This free event is open to everyone. Happening at Pybus Sunday, December 17 is the Wenatchee Valley Empty Bowls Community Painting Party. Paint a ceramic bowl with friends and family to help fight hunger in the community. For more information and other community events, visit ncwlife.com.
When family come to visit, bring them to Kashmir for a fun Applets and Cotlets factory tour. Liberty Orchards celebrates 97 years making delicious candies such as the original famous Applets and Cotlets and other fruit and nut specialties like Fruit Delights, fruit chocolates, and nutritious orchard bars. Liberty Orchards Country Store is open 7 days a week for your holiday shopping. Try the delicious confections at the free sample bar and share with family and friends out of state with easy online ordering. Liberty Orchards, taste the goodness.
And we're back on Wake Up Wenatchee, Friday, the 8th day of December. I am Dan Kuntz. My guest today is the director and the writer of the Snowy Owl Family Christmas Show, which is at the Snowy Owl Theater, with performances tonight and 2 performances tomorrow. Please welcome to the program, Henry Heddick. Good to have you here.
Dan, I'm really happy to be here.
You look a lot like Martin Scorsese. I just noticed that. Has people told you that before?
Somebody has said that before. I think it's the glasses, hopefully.
It might be. You got that Scorsese
and
look.
He's a curmudgeon, you know.
Well, I've seen you direct, and you're not a curmudgeon. Although you're a taskmaster. I've seen you direct, the actual dress rehearsal. Because when the show's on, you're not directing at all. You're watching, right? There's no directing once the show gets underway. But I saw it. You keep your troupe on their toes.
Stanislavski said, "General is the enemy of art." So,
give folks a brief synopsis of what they can expect at the Snowy Owl Theater.
Yeah, the Snowy Owl Family Christmas Show is it's our 4th year doing the show. And it's kind of in a format of an old-time radio show, although this year we'd actually have some dance, and that would be pretty hard to do on the radio. And the show is a combination of singing and a funny story. The story this year is based around a Bavarian Christmas.
Okay.
It's either Bavarian or barbarian.
I guess we'll find out together tonight.
Yeah, and you'll see. You'll play on that a little bit. So there's a story that goes on and whatnot throughout the thing, and then there are some commercials for our sponsors. They're funny,
tongue-in-cheek, very funny.
Yeah. And by the way, I have Carol Seaman and Pat Murphy are also writers on the show too. It's not just me. Anyway, it's just really a fun, fast-paced show. About an hour and 45 minutes, including a 20-minute intermission. And so I think it's something for everybody there.
All local talent and very talented people. I went last year and I was amazed at the capability of the people that you put on stage.
You know,
good.
It really is. It's amazing how much, and all you have to do is look around at how much stuff is actually going on in this valley now. It's just amazing. And people have been actually attracted to coming here, artists. When I first came here, people said, well, you can't do theater. You're not going to make a living doing theater in the valley, and sort of proved them wrong, so that's nice. So there's that. We do actually have a couple of folks from Seattle that are here too, Kevin Jones and Andre Ferriante, who
performed last year.
Musicians. Yeah.
Yep. They do little musical interludes, and Kevin will come out and sing for you on his guitar. He's so good.
Yeah.
He's so good. I've known Kevin for years. Like, why don't you just move to the Wenatchee Valley?
Yeah, so he's almost a local anyway.
He's almost a local. His job won't allow him to do that, unfortunately. How long have you been working on this from a writing standpoint? You mentioned it was yourself and 2 other partners. When did you start writing this year's show, the genesis of it?
I probably shouldn't tell you this, but probably early November, something like that.
A little later than normal?
No, it's pretty much the way it goes, because we have so many things going on throughout the year. There's always something, we're always writing something and whatnot.
The creative process, no problems at all? The genesis of the story, how did all that come together with you and your partners?
Last year we actually did a version of A Christmas Carol that I had written years before, and then I put it into radio show format. And before that, it was, we had another story called The Snowy Owl Christmas and whatnot. So this one, we decided that to honor Leavenworth and its Bavarian roots and whatnot, we would do a look at Christmas in Bavaria, some of the traditions and whatnot. So yeah, that went pretty smooth, and then we've actually added a sponsor this year, so we had lots of work to do on the commercials, and they're great fun. You know, a little like Prairie Home Companion in the sense of something that's funny and stuff, but it has a message that also hopefully brings it home.
And the dancing is something new this year.
Yeah, there's part of that Bavarian Christmas thing. I don't know if you know, there's a creature in Bavarian lore called Krampus. You know about this?
No, I'm not. I'm unfamiliar with Krampus. It sounds like something you don't want to have. It sounds like it's a chest condition or something. You've got Krampus, Dan. We're going to put you on penicillin.
Actually, that's a kind of a thing in the show too. There's a part about What is it? What is Krampus? Sounds
Yeah.
like a cramp you get when you're skiing, or a bad Scottish sausage.
Yeah,
right?
really.
But no, in fact, it's a sort of a devil. And in Bavaria, Christmas is celebrated throughout the month of December in various ways. One of the things is Krampus Day, which is December 5th. And Krampus is a horned devil who sneaks through town in search of naughty children to spirit them away. And,
The anti-Santa Claus, I guess.
the anti-Santa Claus, and he is somehow thwarted by St. Nicholas, who appears on December 6th.
Oh, okay. So don't give away the plot.
I'm not going to give away any more. But
I have a feeling it has a happy ending, though. I'm just going to go out there.
Don't count on it.
So, Henry, why do something original? I mean, there's a gazillion Christmas plays out. Obviously, A Christmas Carol is a standard, but repertory companies do Miracle on 34th Street, and they do It's a Wonderful Life. Is it a matter of paying for the rights, because you got to pay for the rights for something that's already copyrighted, or is it just it's fun to do something that's a completely original story with Christmas music?
Yeah, I think so.
From a director's standpoint, I'm saying, isn't it easier just to do A Christmas Carol every year and call it good?
Easy is never something I was very good at.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I wrote versions of A Christmas Carol and It's a Wonderful Life that we did with Leavenworth Summer Theater when I worked for them. But no, I think it's we've all seen those things. We watch them on TV and everything else. So I think it's really neat to have something that's unique. And I wanted to have something that really celebrates this valley. And really this came out of, let's see, I think it was in 1999 we did something called Icicle Times. It was a huge extravaganza, 4 directors, 350 actors, a huge circus tent, and it was all about the history of the valley. And by 350 actors, I meant it was called a play in a day concept. So we had probably 10 professional actors, and then we brought in all the local people on the day of the show, gave them costumes, told them their lines. We did it, and it was hugely successful. I think there was something like 1,000 people that showed up.
Wow.
Yeah. We had to actually create another tent with a TV in it because we didn't have room for the whole audience. Out of that came something called the Icicle Times Radio Hour, which we did on Coho Radio.
I remember that quite well.
Yeah, and it was on Sundays. And it was, we had a live band. We had, again, funny stories and stuff, and they were sort of based on the history of the valley and funny commercials and that sort of thing. And it was, again, it was very popular. It was at the Chapel Theater at Sleeping Lady. And then, I went away for a few years and whatnot. I came back, and there was a lot of people said, hey, what about the radio show and that kind of thing. So we decided to combine radio show with Christmas, and it gives us an opportunity to do something new every year and something we can repeat without being the same thing.
Without being repetitive.
Yeah.
But is it most of the same cast from last year's back again this year?
A lot of them are the same. We have some new folks too, so that's really nice.
And of course, the theater itself is just beautiful. It's the perfect combination of intimacy, but the stage is big enough and deep enough to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. It's amazing how many people in this valley, including people in Leavenworth, who've never been to Snowy Owl Theater.
They're missing out.
And yeah, it's really true. 240 seats, there's not a bad seat in the house. As a theater director and whatnot, I love it because the acoustics are pristine. They're really great. And that part of that was because Harriet Bullitt, who was one of the major donors for it, really loves opera. And we do Live at the Met, which is simulcast from the Metropolitan Opera in New York. And to get their A+ rating, they actually arrive there and measure your acoustics and look at your equipment, and we did get the A+ rating because when was designed, acoustics was number one.
Mm-hmm. So. And the sound is, he's right, the sound is absolutely incredible. Talk about the behind the scenes people. You and I off camera were talking about Eric Frank is your audio engineer, who in my opinion is the very, very best at what he does here in the Wenatchee Valley. Some of the other people who will be pushing buttons and making things work behind the scenes that people aren't going to see.
Eric Frank is, as you said, he's amazing. He could be working anywhere doing this and whatnot. Just a prince of a guy too, and a real troubleshooter and whatnot. So Eric does a lot of our sound work there. David Oppenheimer is our technical director, and did the lighting design for the show and for a lot of the shows and stuff. And he also he's a taskmaster. as well. There's a whole host of people and whatnot. Jamie Howell is our artistic director of theater. I mean, of film. I'm theater, of film, and he's always there and helpful in every way to put it on. So it's a small group of folks, but
talented and hardworking.
Speaking
of hardworking, how's rehearsals going?
Good. And we did kind of do this suddenly. We sort of put it together, and we've had really, I think, 4 rehearsals. So our last rehearsal was Wednesday night. We had a nice to have a day off, and I think it's going to go really well. I want to mention also our sponsors.
Go ahead, please do.
Okay. Yeah, there's a television station called North Central Washington Life. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're one of our sponsors. That's great. Fresh Burger Cafe in Leavenworth is one of our sponsors. Nutcracker Museum has for a long time now, has been a sponsor, and we've got a really funny commercial for them this year. Marson & Marson Hardware. Kingfisher Restaurant and Wine Bar is a new sponsor this year, and we're excited about that. And then D.A. Davidson has been a valuable sponsor for many years.
Kudos to the sponsors. No sponsors, no show. As
That's
simple
right.
as that.
And one of the things that, like I say, is really neat is that the sponsors not only are kind enough to make the show happen, but they get
an ad,
and it's
very
funny.
funny
I think they bring their employees to the show and stuff, and get a good chuck.
I remember the ad that you did last year for our TV station. I hope you do it again this year. We just sent you copy points, and you guys made it gold. There's no way, and I'm a fairly creative guy, there's no way I would have been able to write what you guys wrote for our TV station for the show. It was good. It was very good. Henry Heddick is my guest. He's the director of the Snowy Owl Theater's Family Christmas Show, with shows tonight and then 2 shows on Saturday. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, a little bit more about the creative process involved and tickets, all that good stuff that you need to know. Head on up to Leavenworth this weekend and get in the holiday spirit with the good folks up there. We'll be right back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Alone, it can be hard to reach our dreams. It can feel like you aren't welcome anywhere. When no one's there to clap, taking on the world by yourself. But when we come together, when we lend a helping hand, when we set the stage, when you support causes you care about in your community, lives are changed. You make a difference in someone's life when you give. Imagine the impact if everyone in our community gave 10%. 10% makes a difference.
Ladies of the Wenatchee Valley, do you know the secret of receiving the perfect gift for your birthday, anniversary, or Christmas? We have the answer for you at Collins Fashions. Come in and fill out a wish list. You can choose from beautifully crafted jewelry, handbags, and luggage from Brighton, stylish wallets and handbags from Lotus, cozy sweaters from Icelandic, zip fleece from Tommy Bahama, fashions from Joseph Ribkop, and Collins gift cards. Our little elves can contact your loved ones and share your wish list. Complimentary gift wrap and amazing service at Collins Fashions in downtown Wenatchee.
We've been in the cleaning industry for over 10 years, and we noticed a need in the housing market for reliable, professional, and specialized cleaning and finishing company.
They come in with spunk and personality, a lot of energy, and they take pride in their business.
We offer a wide array of cleaning solutions, no matter how big or small the job. Anything from new construction to move-in, move-outs, we do it all. Give us a call today to see how we can help you with your cleanup.
And we're back with Henry Heddick, one of the co-writers and the director of the Snowy Owl Family Christmas Show, with shows tonight and then 2 shows Saturday at the Snowy Owl Theater at the campus of the Sleeping Lady Resort. You and 2 collaborators wrote this show, and it is a show. Notice we're not calling it a play or anything. It's a show because it's got a lot of different elements. What's it like to, from a director standpoint, to direct something that you wrote? You're not interpreting somebody else's work. The actors are interpreting and acting out your work. What's that like?
Right. Well, when I'm directing a play, whether it's a musical or a straight play, part of my duty is to honor the writer of the play. to make sure that the play is integral with what that person had in mind. In this case, I don't have to worry about knowing what that is, or at least the stuff I wrote. I know exactly what I wanted. That tends to make it easier, I guess, to be able to interpret to the actors what it is was the vision and all that sort of thing. But both have their challenges and whatnot.
7 o'clock tonight is when the show begins. 7:30. I'm sorry, 7:30 tonight. When the show actually is on stage and you're doing the performance before a paid audience, what do you do? Are you just sitting there watching? You can't stand up in the middle of the show and go, "Okay, do that again."
I've been tempted a few times.
What do you do? You just sit there
chew
and
gum.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm sort of a combination of watching the show in the back, and then I'm being available to troubleshoot. You know, something happens, I can run backstage or whatever. I sort of act as a stage manager a little bit, like give people, you know, like your producer does, 1 minute to the top of the show and that kind of thing. But really, it's just nail bite time for a director. That's one of the bad things about being a director. At some point, you have to hand it off, and really, I don't nail bite because I surround myself with talented people, and I know they're going to do a great job.
Do you make any change? You have a show at 7:30 tonight and then 2 shows tomorrow. Are you taking copious notes and you say, okay, this didn't work the way I wanted it to, so for the matinee on Saturday, we're going to make a little change? Does that happen?
I used to do that a lot.
Yeah.
People would, especially for live theater and whatnot, and I, you know, 2 shows into the run, I'd be giving them notes and stuff, and they'd roll their eyes. Now what I do is, you know, certainly if there's something glaring, then absolutely I'll let them know that. But by and large, again, I sort of hand off the show at some point to the actors, and that's a good feeling for a director to be able to do that.
We talked about the acoustics of the Snowy Owl Theater. Let's talk music. What songs can people expect? Traditional Christmas music that we all know and love? Some
Yeah, we have
stuff?
a combination. By the way, just before I forget, I
go
want to
ahead.
make sure and mention that the times for the show are specifically geared. We have 7:30 shows on Friday and Saturday night, and then a 1 o'clock matinee on Saturday. And the reason why we change the times a little bit is that way that people can go and see the show, the matinee show, and then go to the Christmas lighting afterwards, or they can go to the Christmas lighting beforehand and then still make the show deal. So that's the reason for that. So
music.
Oh yeah,
songs.
So yes, we have some traditional Winter Wonderland and some ones that most people have probably not heard. Some new ones that are really great. There's one called Christmas Day that kind of ends the show. That's really a wonderful, beautiful deal. And then this year, because we're doing Bavarian Christmas, we actually have a 2 or 3 that are in German. Which is great fun. And I won't give it away, but there's one, Deck the Halls, in German and whatnot, that then is followed by a different version by our young cast members that's a real rockin' version of Deck the Halls.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And by the way, we have a really excellent young people cast this year, high school age kids that I'm not kidding you, could be performing anywhere in the world. Just amazing.
That's the one thing you notice, and I went to last year's show, which is a rendition, a pretty cool rendition of A Christmas Carol that Henry adapted. The talent is amazing. I was blown away by seeing the pharmacist and the secretary and the guy who works the PUD on stage and performing their hearts out. And I'm going, these people are good.
Yeah.
And it must be very comforting knowing you're working with some pretty talented folks from a director's standpoint.
And, you know, that's the thing about directing is, first of all, pick a good script, or write one, we hope it is. But then the second thing is have a great cast. And if you do, the director's job is notoriously easy.
We haven't got about a minute left, Henry. Has any theater groups or repertory groups come to you and say, we like what you wrote, you and your partners wrote, can we do it too?
Yeah, but not so much this because of it's not been available and whatnot. But the other shows, some of the other shows I've written have been performed in other places and stuff. And yeah,
must be a source.
Well, I think we're only one of the only ones doing this. Yeah.
It's a great show. Again, you got 3 chances to see it. 7:30 tonight at the Snowy Owl Theater on the campus of the Sleeping Lady Resort, and then 2 shows tomorrow, 2 o'clock and again at 7:30 in the evening, and that's it. There are 3 chances to see it. Tickets, well, go ahead.
And give yourself plenty of time to get into Leavenworth, because this is Christmas lighting, and
it takes a while.
Traffic is
Yeah. You can get tickets online in advance or get them at the door. I would get them in advance, especially for the Saturday night show. it could very well sell out. As Henry mentioned, it only seats about 240 people. So it's a very intimate theater. So get your tickets and check it out. It's rapidly becoming an outstanding tradition here in North Central Washington. Henry, keep up the good work. I will see you tomorrow because our cameras will be there. I'm going to be there to film the entire episode, and we will have it multiple times here on the NCW Life channel over the holiday season. Break a leg, my friend.
Thank you, and Dan, it's really a pleasure being here.
Everybody have a great weekend. Be safe. We'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.